So, this is number 2. I found something to talk about at last. My trip to Arcadia. But first, we have to say goodbye to Adam Rathbone. Bye. Bye-bye. He's gone to live in Sunderland for university. And on Tuesday, I have a job interview. Woohoo! It's for Primark. My trip to Arcadia. Now, this is a blog entry that I put on MySpace, so I'll read it to you. Last week, I did the most amazing thing. I went and searched for the Arcadia Garden Centre. And what a search. I left the house at 2:30 to hope the journey would take 2 hours and I would be there by 5, which is when Michael finished work. However, I had no idea where I was going. I set off. It was warm and sunny. 2 minutes later, it began to rain. I made my way up through Stewart's Park. I couldn't remember if there was a back entrance or not. I decided to walk out the far entrance and walk up Martin Road. Turns out there was a back entrance. I kept walking. My main clues were Stokesley Road and Dixon's Bank and some traffic lights that I passed on the way to karate. Well, I found Stokesley Road and I found Dixon's Bank. They were right next to each other. A lot of use those clues were. Told to walk straight through the traffic lights and turn onto Brasscastle. So, I found 2 more clues. Middlesbrough Golf Club and a place called Newby. Both said to take the next right. Brasscastle Lane! So I walked down Brasscastle Lane and suddenly there was no footpaths. Next clue would be to take a left at the small castle. Also, the sign pointing to Newby helped. So, risking my life and balancing on the curb, I walked along the roads. I finally reached the golf club. Then there was a field of sheep. Where was I? A split road. Turn left or turn right? Took my chances. To the left, you are now entering the county of North Yorkshire. Decided to stay in Middlesbrough and I took a right. Suddenly, there wasn't even a curb. I noticed the sign said public footpath. So I climbed over a stile and walked along the grass. There wasn't even a path. It was just... Well, anyway, in the distance I saw 2 large black cows eating from a tree. That's how big they were. No, they looked like small giraffes minding the cow part. I kept walking along the so-called footpath and came to a dead end. I climbed over the fence and it had little barbed wiry thingies on, and it ripped my trousers. I came to another cross point. A sign pointed to Newby. I followed it, and the rain started again. In the distance, I saw what appeared to be a greenhouse. Did I find it? No. It was a barn. I was drenched. The rain got heavier. I backtracked my way back to the crossroad where the Newby sign was. You know, Arcadia was in Newby. It should be. Well, I thought it was on Stokesley Road too. I took these clues from the address from the website. Arcadia Garden Centre Limited, Stokesley Road, Newby, Middlesbrough, TF8 OAN. Well, apart from the fact that it's in TS8, so I decided to go straight up. In the distance, I saw another greenhouse. Could it be? I ran for my life. I saw a sign. It's a garden centre. It's a real life garden centre. But it wasn't Arcadia. It was Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill Garden Centre. Cherry Hill. But I walked in anyway, up to the lady at the till. Excuse me, do you know where Arcadia Garden Centre is? Yes, it's down the road to the left. She pointed exactly where I'd been. Do you mean that way? I pointed up the other way. She began to wave her pointing finger around. But I just came from that way. Well, keep going, she said. Confused, I had to take a word for it. The rain stopped for a bit, but I was still soggy. I kept walking. Past the Newby sign, past the field of cows, and eventually got to the cross point. I looked over at the North Yorkshire sign and saw a tip of a greenhouse. You have got to be kidding me. I walked slowly at first. It grew into a jog, then into a run. I ran and hurt my ankle, But I continued to run, and run, and run. The greenhouse became 3 greenhouses, and a small hut. I saw the sign. Welcome to Arcadia. I made it. I did it. I did it. I found Arcadia.